again, we have the half teaspoon. It's actually 1 teaspoon, but we don't have 1 teaspoon. So we put that with the flour. And when measuring with solids, you want to make sure to brisk the top off.
Make it level.
Yeah, it's level.
So I'm just going to cream together the butter and the brown sugar. Well, actually, brown sugar and granulated sugar. Until it becomes like a nice soft. Okay, so I think that the butter and sugars are ready now. They're nice and creamy and even. So now we add in the eggs one at a time. And wait, we have to beat each one in between. So I've mixed in 1 egg, so I'm going to mix in the other one. And we just work this in until it's nice and clean. When you're mixing in the eggs, it gets really like gooey and funny looking and looks kind of gross. But I promise you, this is gonna be one good cookie. Vivian, you want to mix this for a second? I'm gonna go check on the date bars.
Funny story about chocolate chip cookies. So, this lady named Ruth made cookies for her friends and her husband, but they were supposed to be round and all chocolate. But she ran out of chocolate, so she decided to cut up pieces of chocolate, the big bars, and she mixed them in with the batter. Only they were supposed to melt in the oven, but they didn't. And so when they came out, she was surprised to see little cookies that weren't melted. But they turned out really, really good. Here go those.
So I'm gonna finish. I think the date bars will be ready in like 2 minutes or so. So now I think we add in vanilla, 1 teaspoon. So you got that?
Teaspoon, very well.
You know.
Again, over a little mini bowl. Half a teaspoon. And 1 teaspoon.
Yay!
Yay!
So once I mix this in, then you add in the flour mixture. And a little bit at a time so that it's easier to work in. And
you're very, very messy with flour, so
yeah. Sorry. So this dough, after working with it for a while, then I realized that it's better to wait, hold on. Yeah. Can we cut that out?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So I'm just gonna work in on the rest of the flour. And little by little, it should turn into more of a doughy before. Before it was a little gooey and stuff, but now it should turn into a good cookie dough sort of texture, which you're probably used to working with.
Don't forget that the edges, Helen wants really floury cookies.
Yeah. Remember to while you're whisking it in, then just scrape a little off the edges and make sure to get it all in. So,
did you know chocolate chip cookie is, I think, Massachusetts cookie.
State cookie.
State cookie, yes, that's it. State cookie. Zoe, you want to go check on the date bars?
I think they're probably done right now. Yep. So I'll just get them out. Be sure not to try to grab them without little thingy, because you're gonna end up burning yourself. So I think I'm just gonna let these sit and cool down for a couple of minutes while we're finishing making the cookies, because you shouldn't cut them while they're too soft, because then otherwise they're just gonna fall apart when you're trying to take them out.
And it's very dangerous too. The plate is very, very hot. and the metal you're using, and the knife cutting the things is very, very hot too.
So, do you want to just add the rest of the flour?
Yeah, that makes smart. It's a lot of flour.
Yeah, 3 cups. Just
Are you
remind-
sure?
Yeah.
Who would have thought 3 cups of flour could fit in such a little bowl?
Interesting.
I know, right? Again,
Sorry.
make sure to have a clean workspace. So, bring your Zoha to the sink.
So now we're just gonna incorporate the chocolate chips in. So that's 2 cups again. I like to leave a little bit at the end and not just mix them all at the end, because if you mix them all in, then like when you scoop them out, then they just don't look as pretty because they're all the chocolate chips are inside instead of outside. So I like to press a few on the top so that they look pretty too.
This looks really, really hard, and you have to be sure to mash them together. But you also want to be careful not to crumble or break any of the chocolate chips.
And make sure that you like evenly distribute all the chocolate chips through all the dough.
Working those muscles.
So I think that this is ready. So now you scoop rounded tablespoons onto a parchment sheet, a cookie sheet with parchment paper. You scoop rounded tablespoons.
Here, hold on.
So basically just scoop them out. They don't have to be like a perfect shape. Like if you want to, then you can, but you most likely have to refrigerate it. And then I realized like with this cookies, like if you want to make them, like I like mine sort of flat and homemade looking, but if you want to, then you can also make them like sort of like puffy and stuff. But I like to just to flatten them a little so that they like spread out better and stuff. So yeah. So I just scoop them out and then spread them out. So how about we scoop them all out and then spread them?
That might be smart.
Yep. Always thinking.
This is a better method than using your hands, because that way you don't have to get your hands dirty, and they're kind of like perfectly spaced. Like, yeah.
Uniform.
That's it.
I think that's what you want.
Yeah. I'm sorry on my bad vocabulary.
So just make them, I think for a 13 by 9 inch sheet, then you should just make like 9 to 12 per sheet, because they kind of spread out a lot too. So you don't want them to like stick together. And I use parchment paper so that they don't stick to the cookie sheet, but you can also just spray it with Pam or like butter or oil. So
There's a lot of batter.
I'm just gonna do 1 sheet and then
Okay, well, can we eat the rest of it then? I'm just saying.
cookie dough tastes really good.
It does. I like homemade cookies because they're soft and chewy, and they have that very home-warming taste.
Very interesting sentence, Vivian.
I know, right? Zoe knows I have very
Thank you.
weird. I just dropped the cookie.
Good job.
Yes, Zoe knows I have very
Interesting vocabulary.
Yes, I was just gonna say that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I think that's good.
That's a really small cookie. Maybe we should like
Add a little.
Add like a little more
Okay. Well then.
chocolatiness to it.
So I've like flattened them out. So I'm just gonna flatten them out a little. Just like if you have like, you should like probably like wash your hands before that. Not only to like so that your hands are clean, but because like if you wash it before, then it just like the dough doesn't stick to your hand as much and like come up. So I'm just gonna flatten them a little with my hands.
But if your batter doesn't turn out as non-sticky as this, what you want to do is take some flour and pat it around your fingertips and your palm and just shape it.
That's a good, like if something's like sticking to your fingers, then a good idea is always to put flour on your hands and then work with it. So I'm just pressing a few chocolate chips on the top because I just think it looks pretty, and it just makes it look more like a chocolate chip cookie.
I'm gonna make this one a smiley face.
Have fun with that.
Because they're gonna know it's my cookie.
So I'm just pressing a few, maybe like 2 or 3 in per one.
Is it okay if I stick like 7?
That is your cookie.
Yay! Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I need one more.
I'm just putting it in a random place where if there's not like much underneath it.
What you can also do is you can like maybe add sprinkles, or you can add food coloring to the dough, make them orangey, and have special Halloween cookies. Halloween's coming up. And so we're almost done putting on the chocolate chips. Almost.
And you bake these at 375 for about 9 to 11 minutes. And if you like a more chewy cookie, then I'd recommend 9. And if you like a crispy cookie, then I do like around 10, 11 minutes. I personally like chewy cookies, and so does everyone in my family. So I'm just gonna put these in, and remember 375 degrees on. And so yeah, so we're just gonna take these out in 9 to 11 minutes. And then now we're gonna, now I think they're cooled enough to cup. So, okay, so just cut them around 1.5 to 2 inches.
I have to cut over a little bit.
Sure.
And then,
like if your cookies or bars look like they're really gooey when you take them out of the oven, then don't worry about it, because once they like cool down, then they become like, they firm up a lot more. So like if you're like wondering about putting your cookies in for a longer time and you really like a chewy cookie, then like I'm pretty sure that like they look soft, but they really, when they harden, then they will be chewy and a nice texture that we all love. So
make sure to put them on a very decorative plate and show off to your friends, or bring them to a party, or just dig into them.
So
having fun there, Zoe.
So we've just set up the date bars in a nice plate, and always make sure the presentation is a key fact of baking and cooking and whatnot. So now the main thing that you should remember after you're done baking is to clean up your area and make sure that you've removed anything that could be a mess or problem, because I know my mom has a lot of trouble with me leaving stuff around. So I'm just gonna put the rest of the cookie dough in the fridge, and anything that we do on the show, or anything that we don't do and you want us to do on the show, if you have any questions about what we have been doing on the show, or if anything that you want us to do on the show, any questions about anything that you want us to make, or anything of that sort.
Anything. Crab, maybe escargot, or french fries,
or something normal like cupcakes.
Or that, you never know, Zoe, the cookies! The cookies first!
Okay, so I think the cookies are done by now, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just gonna let these out, and look at how beautiful they are. I'm so proud. So while these are cooling for a little bit, let us just let you know about